Welcome to Lancer Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com alongside Aaron True, Romero de la Cruz. Today it is the Orange Lutheran Lancers trying to bounce back after an 11-3 loss on Wednesday. They're looking to bounce back here against the Los Altos Conquerors, who are currently 0-1 on the season. They're just underway here from UC Riverside. A beautiful day for baseball, kind of windy here, a little bit chilly. Windy up here in the press box, but you look dead center field and the flag is pretty much still. Up first is Giovanni Morales, and talking to Coach Borba after the game on Wednesday, he said his team today, they need to find a way to get into a pitching rhythm. The last two games they've given up a total of 20 runs, have Orange Lutheran, and they've used a total of 11 pitchers. Not going to win many ball games that way.
Yeah, the Lancers, and they're already starting off with a walk, and that's been the problem for them all season long, is control on the mound. Last game losing 11-3 after giving up 10 walks.
10 walks, 3 hit batsmen on Wednesday. They only give up 5 hits in that game, Aaron, but 11 walks. And that's something Coach Borba attributed to freebies, is what he called them.
Yeah, it's hard to win games when you're giving yourself such a disadvantage.
Pitch over to first, a throw over to first base is not going to be in time, and Giovanni Morales is in there safely. So it's been a game of walks here as the second hitter De La Pena shows bunt. He bunts this one foul. Garrett King fires over to first base, and De La Pena, or Morales, in there safely. De La Pena, a left-handed hitter. Garrett King getting the start here for Orange Lutheran today. Right-hander for the Lancers. A sophomore, 6'3", 165. King from the stretch. Here comes the pitch, and that's in the dirt. De La Pena did get a piece of it, so it'll be ruled a strike. No balls and 2 strikes here to the number 2 hitter, Jason De La Pena, who has failed to try to advance the runner. Still can do so, but they try to get him over via the bunt. Couldn't do so, so now he'll be swinging away with 2 strikes. Comes the 0-2 from King, a swing and a miss, strike 3. And Garrett King gets the strike out of Jason De La Pena.
Yeah, that's a good sign early. Hopefully help build his confidence, build some momentum, and keep this team, the Concours, from jumping on the Lancers early.
Joe Munoz now due up for the Concours. Here comes the first pitch to Munoz. A sharply hit ball to third base, grounded by Morgan. The flip to second for 1. A 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. And that is exactly what Orange Lutheran needed here in the first inning. Aaron, we saw 2 double plays end innings in yesterday's game, but they got to keep that going throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, the Lancers looking really sharp on defense. Gave up a walk early, but then able to get a strikeout and then a nice double play ball. Big hanging curve from the pitcher, toppled to the infield, and ending double play. And that's been the story for the Lancers all season long. The double play connection they have in all areas of the infield. And, talk to us about the Lancers defense this year.
Well, remember Coach Borba, we were talking to him about the middle infielders with the junior Travis Blue and then the senior shortstop Cody Nolf. He said he feels like he's one of the better shortstop in the entire nation. Then you add a third baseman like Josh Morgan, the sophomore. He said this is probably arguably the best infield I've had in my time coaching, and this is a guy who's won state championships. He's won CIF championships up when he was coaching at De La Salle.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of the top talent in this division, and high praise paid from the coach, Borba.
Let's take a look at the batting lineup here for Orange Lutheran. Leading things off, it'll be Connor Sullivan. Travis Blue hitting number 2 in the 3 spot. It'll be Cody Nolf, followed by Tommy Bell in the cleanup spot. Jason Martin hitting 5th. Josh Morgan down to the 6th spot today. Art Vidro in the designated hitter spot and hitting 7th. Hitting 8th, it is Matt Stummy. And rounding things up at the bottom of the lineup is the senior Matt Carlson. Defensive alignment here for the Conquerors. It'll be Steven Camberos behind the backstop at first. It is Jason De La Pena, Alfred Monrez at second, Giovanni Morales at short, Esteban Ortega at third, and from left to right in the outfield, it'll look like this: Nick Dominguez, Joey France, and James Mendez out in right field for the Conquerors. Connor Sullivan having himself a special season here for Orange Lutheran in the early goings. Drew 3 walks in the last game, also had a single, was on base 4 times. And he's scored in every game the Lancers have played this season so far. Towing the rubber today is Joe Munoz. He misses on the first pitch down and outside.
Yeah, a lot of the Lancers' success depends on their leadoff hitter, Connor Sullivan, reaching base. If he can reach base early and they can get their small ball game working, this team's unstoppable. Let's look for them to rebound on the pitching end and on the defensive end after giving up 11 runs in the last game.
Well, offense has not been the problem. It's been the pitching is what has been the issue here the last couple of games for Orange Lutheran.
And as you mentioned, it has been the pitching that they've been struggling with this season. Making his first start of the season, Garrett King. We've seen Art Vidro and we've seen Brent Wheatley, but this is the first time we've seen Garrett King making a start so far this season. And for those of you wondering what's going on, if it sounds like we're in a wind tunnel, we pretty much are. Extremely windy day here at the ballpark.
Yeah, very windy here at the ballpark. As the count goes to 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man, Connor Sullivan. That's what Orange Lutheran likes to do. They like to attack and get out in front. There's a big chopper there. Munoz gloves it, stops it, caught by the second baseman. Not going to be able to get it over to first base in time. And the speedy Sullivan on first base with a leadoff single.
Yeah, hit sharply up the middle by Sullivan. Pitcher unable to field it cleanly, and Sullivan beats out the throw. Coming up to the plate, his partner in crime this season, second baseman Travis Blue. And he's been solid all around for this Lancers team. Great glove on the field at second base. And he's known for his small ball gameplay. Expect him to try to look for a bunt to advance the runner, Sullivan, here.
So Connor Sullivan gets on with the leadoff single, an infield single, and Blue will try to get him over as the infield plays in. Third baseman Ortega in on the grass.
Well, he did show bunt, so they're playing the bunt. Third baseman creeping in.
As the pitcher Joe Munoz throws back to first, trying to keep Sullivan close. Not afraid to run is Connor Sullivan. Munoz now in the stretch. Here comes the pitch. Sullivan goes. The throw into second is in time.
That was an incredible throw, right on the money. Looking for the hit and play. Travis Blue swinging. Not a very good pitch. Still swung and unable to make contact. And Sullivan gunned down. I mean, he was thrown out by probably about 3 steps there. Slid head first, but the ball was well there already. So Sullivan gunned out, trying to steal second base.
A perfect pitch on the run by Munoz. It was a fastball right down the middle. Blue did not swing. And then a strong throw from Steven Camberos from home to second to record the out is Travis Blue.
Especially in this wind, I mean, what a throw.
Travis Blue gets a count to 3-2. So for Munoz, first 2 hitters he's faced, he's had him at 3-2. Here comes the payoff to Travis Blue as he gets hit in the back, and he'll sprint over to first base. So the first 2 guys to come up and face Munoz will reach base.
And Travis Blue drilled in the back. It looks like the ball may have been caught in the wind. It was moved around 4 inches to the right. Drilling Blue in the back. He'll head to first base.
And Cody Nolf will check in for Orange Lutheran, coming in off a good game on Wednesday. This guy, Cody Nolf, he's been red hot here the first 2 games of 2012. Ball gets away, Blue into second. Ball gets away from the second baseman, and it's backed up beautifully by the shortstop Morales. And Travis Blue will stay at second. Runner in scoring position for the Lancers. Cody Nolf, 4 walks in Wednesday's game, 2 for 4 last Saturday with 4 RBIs, all coming in the first inning in that big 9-run inning for the Lancers.
Nolf having a great season at the plate so far. Great on base percentage. A lot of RBIs, had 4 RBIs in the first game. But this is a huge, huge field. We say that almost every game, but it's 400 feet to dead center, 380 to the gaps, and 330 down right field and left field line. Yeah. And especially with the wind, the way it's blowing somewhat in, I don't think we'll see any long balls today.
This park is even bigger than Hart Park. The home to the Orange Lutheran Lancers and to the Chapman Panthers.
If you can get a hold of one though, the outfield's playing really far in. Yeah, you could. And there we go.
Noel fits one in the right field, left field gap. They're going to send Travis Blue home, and Blue will easily coast in and score the first run of the game. So Cody Nolf continues his hot streak here in the 3rd game of the season for Orange Lutheran.
Cody Nolf, ever reliable. The Nolfster doing it once again, another RBI, and he's got to be the leading RBI leaders for the Lancers, I'm sure, this season. Doing it once again, Mr. Reliable, getting the Lancers up early, and this has got to do wonders for their confidence. After losing a game a few days ago, 11-3, getting here out to a lead up early, getting ahead, that's got to play well into their confidence.
And all 3 guys that have come up to face Joe Munoz have got on base in this game so far.
And just a quick note, we do have a change in the normal lineup. Usually batting 4th this season at cleanup has been Josh Morgan over at Josh Morgan, the 3rd baseman. But now batting 4th, it looks like it's Tommy Bell.
Yeah, and Tommy Bell, this is a kid that possesses a lot of power. He does have the strength to get one out of here any part of this field.
Yeah, he drove one the other game, had a nice hit.
That one's in on the hands of Tommy Bell, fielded by the shortstop Mendez, and he throws over to first base. 2 outs now as Cody Nolf goes over to second. A good pitch by Munoz inside on the hands of Tommy Bell.
Looks like coming up to the plate, the left-hander, the outfielder, Jason Martin. Number 5 for the Lancers.
And Jason Martin, another guy who's got off to a solid start here. Had 2 walks in Wednesday's game, and then last Saturday went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So a lot of guys up and down the lineup here off to a good start. The one guy who has struggled here the first 2 games for Orange Lutheran, it's been Matt Carlson, who had a good season last year, hit over 385 for Orange Lutheran, and I had a couple of words with him, and he said, I got to turn it around here early. We're still early in the season. The other guys are getting it done, but I got to start producing as I did last year, is what Matt Carlson told me. Does not have a base hit through the first 2 games, as Martin will foul this one off. 1-1 the count here, 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning, Orange Lutheran strikes first blood. They go up 1-0 in the game.
Also, please, caution, keep an eye out on foul ball during the course of the game.
Munoz from the stretch looking home. Jason Martin looking so comfortable in the batter's box as that one nearly gets away from the catcher, Camberos. Does a good job of blocking that one, and Cody Nolf will stay over at second base. 2-2 the count now to Jason Martin. Martin, a junior, 5'10", 175 pounds. They throw back to second, and they get Cody Nolf napping at second. And that is the third out of the inning. We have reached the end of one here from UC Riverside, where the Lancers lead it 1-0. You're listening to Lancers Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Lancers Baseball alongside Aaron True, Romero De La Cruz, coming to you live today from UC Riverside, top of the second inning. Justin King back on the mound for the Lancers. Steven Camberos. Correction, Garrett King on the mound for Orange Lutheran.
No relation to Justin.
No, Justin King is cornerback for the St. Louis Rams.
Are they still in the NFL?
They sure are. They got the number 2 pick this year in the NFL. As that one's lifted out to shallow left center, and cruising over is Jason Martin. And Jason Martin brings that one in, and he had to cover a lot of ground there to come in and bring that one in.
Yeah, he has really good speed, and he's made a couple great catches in the outfield this season.
Now batting, third baseman, number 15, Esteban Ortega.
Esteban Ortega due up now for Los Altos as they trail it 1-0.
Yeah, so far, pitching looking good, giving up 1 walk, but no hits thus far.
That ball's hit sharply out to center. Connor Sullivan drifting back, and Sullivan snags that one in. 2 outs here, top of the second. 2 up and 2 quickly down here for King.
Yeah, not sure if that's a good sign, though, because both batters made great contact and lifted the ball pretty well. So, I mean, just a matter of millimeters, and those balls could have been drilled, you know, into the gap or for extra base hits. So, hopefully, the pitcher King can make some adjustments here.
But as big as a field as this is, you look at the outfield, the guys are halfway to the wall.
Yeah, they're playing around probably 300,
350,
if that.
So a pitcher's park, we can call it.
Yeah, if you can get one into the gap between the left fielder and the center fielder, you can. I really think you can get it inside the park homer.
If it's a guy like Connor Sullivan's, that one hit right by the pitcher King. Nobody will glove it. And Joey Franco will have himself a 2-out knock for Los Altos and continue the inning.
Breaking
James Mendez.
Breaking up the no-hitter for King. He had retired 4 batters successfully. No, 5. He had retired 5 batters successfully, so good start for King.
That ball's hit sharply, but right at Nolf. He'll go the short way to second, and there's the 3rd out of the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors. 1 man left stranded after an inning and a half. It is the Lancers up 1-0. The Lancers will come back to bat here in the bottom of the second. A good King looking good there.
Yeah, great defensive effort that half inning by the Lancers. 2 balls caught in the outfield, and then a ground ball hit to the shortstop. Nolf to Blue for the easy out. The force out at second base, and 4 up, 3 down. Good inning for King. Looking good so far. Only giving up 1 walk, no hit batters. So far, so good. And that's the thing. If the Lancers can eliminate all the walks and the errors in terms of mental errors, giving up all the walks, they're very, very difficult to beat. Because really, they're beating themselves by giving up all the walks. It's not like the other team had 4 hits, I think, right?
Last game Wednesday, they had 4 total hits.
11 runs on 4 hits.
4 hits. How
can you win a game with a great effort, only giving up 4 hits, but 11 runs? Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're not going to win many ball games when, as Coach Borba said, when you give up the freebies. They give up 10 walks, and they hit 3 batters in that game, and that really undid it for Orange Lutheran in that ball game. That's a game maybe they wish they could have back, but there is no such thing as going back, and you got to move forward and make sure you pick up the W's from here on out. Came in to 2012 ranked number 11 in the nation by Baseball America.
And up to bat again to lead off the inning is going to be Jason Martin. They caught Nolf napping at second base, so Martin leads off. Hits it up the middle.
Drills that one right by the second baseman, Alfred Manrez. And Jason Martin with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the second.
And now up, batting in the 6th today, Josh Morgan, the third baseman, usually the cleanup hitter. They're switching things around a little bit, and he's coming in. Usually before Martin, they're having him bat after this time.
Take a little bit of the pressure off of Mr. Morgan.
Yeah, only a sophomore. I mean, playing already. Incredible ball, though.
Snap throw down at first base, and Jason Martin will get in there quickly. A former wide receiver for the Lancers football team. Played last year for the football team. Said he was going to take this season off and concentrate on baseball. And that's a big reason why he's come in and had the success that he's had here in 2012. Credit some of that success to Mike Sweeney as well, the hitting coach for the Lancers. Martin goes. Morgan bunts it back to the pitcher. No play over at second. So sacrifice bunt successful there for Morgan. And Martin will advance to second base, and Art Vidro will check in.
Yeah, Martin with great hustle to second base. The pitcher wanted him to force out to second, but didn't have the play. Looked for it, didn't see it. Had the heads-up ability to go to first and still get the out. Up now, up to the plate. Usually in at pitcher. Today, is he at designated hitter though?
Yeah, Art Vidro he's going to see a lot of time at the designated position. He's going to be the designated hitter.
He moves around first base, designated hitter, pitcher, left-hander, Art Vidro, Mr. Hard Knocks himself.
Yeah, last year he got injured twice. Was the number one pitcher for Orange Lutheran, southpaw, crafty southpaw. Got injured twice, and when he went down, his ERA was at 1.5, was about 3-0. 4-0 at the time, and also was hitting .385 before he went down with the injury. Led the team in RBIs with 7.
I think Cody Nolf already has 7 RBIs 3 games in. And the delivery, Vidro takes the pitch outside.
Munoz misses that outside, and they're going to call it. He misses that outside, so it's a ball and 2 strikes here to the left-handed hitter, Vidro. Righty-lefty matchup. Orange Lutheran has compiled 3 base hits in the game. Off speed for Munoz, misses outside. Good block by the catcher.
Yeah, that's the same pitch he hit Travis Blue with earlier, where he didn't have control and it just went about, 1.5 foot outside. But luckily Art's a left-hander, so he wasn't hit by the pitch. So we got a 2-2 count, 1 out, runner on second.
Comes the pitch. Got him looking. Strike three. Vidro will not argue the call, and he'll go back to the dugout as Munoz picks up his second strikeout of the game.
Yeah, Munoz has a huge hanging curveball, and he has a lot of confidence in it. Looks like that's his out pitch. Anytime he's ahead in the count or has 2 strikes, he's going to go to that curveball.
Beautifully placed pitch there by Munoz to record the second out of the inning. Matt Stummy checks in for his first at-bat, and Stummy sees the fastball right down the middle. And what I like about what Art Vidro did before he went back to the dugout, he had a couple of quick words with Stummy, just let him know what he's seen. That's usually what good hitters will do is, when the guys come back to the dugout, they'll say, hey, what are you seeing out there? What is he looking like when you're in the batter's box?
Yeah, either that or maybe he's tipping his pitches.
Jason Martin over at second, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Stummy holds the barrel of the bat back. 1-1 the count here to Stummy. Orange Lutheran up 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. They struck for a run in the bottom of the first. A run on 3 hits, no errors for the Lancers. A big swing and a miss by Stummy, going after one high in the strike zone. Probably should have laid off of that pitch.
Once again, the pitcher is ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Look for the big curveball, the out pitch.
Martin does not go, and Munoz misses inside.
Yeah, so Munoz, he's hit and miss with that curveball. For every one he throws outside, then he'll come back with one down the middle. So let's see if he's able to gain command of control.
Still had a couple of waste pitches. Let's see if he did not just set him up there inside, and he's going to come back on the outside.
Yeah, he's 2-2 count. He has the ball to give.
Comes a 2-2. This time he goes outside, and
ooh, the catcher thought it was going to be a called strike 3, jumping up, but umpire says not today.
And that was a close pitch to take there by Matt Stummy. A great eye there. And you're absolutely right. Steven Camberos was already running back to the dugout. They called him back. So here comes the payoff. Martin goes, and Stummy fouls this one off, staying alive. And so far in this game, we're just in the bottom of the second inning, but Munoz has already had 4 hitters that he's still at least that he's had full counts to. Orange Lutheran working the count here in the early goings. This time Munoz looks back, nobody covering. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, bottom of the second. Here comes the payoff for Munoz. He misses outside. Ball gets away from the catcher, and Martin wisely goes over to third base. And Stummy will walk over to third base to extend the inning for Matt Carlson.
Matt Carlson, usually reliable hitter for the Lancers, struggling so far this season. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Here's Carlson's chance to kind of break his slump and get hot here.
Yeah, talking to Matt Carlson, he had a strikeout, flew out to center field, and a ground out to third base in Wednesday's game. Talked to him a little bit after the game, and really was not in a mood to talk as he takes a big swing and a miss on the first pitch. A good hack there by Carlson, just could not catch up to the fastball, and he really was not in the mood to.
Let's just call it what it is. He was disappointed with the loss and denied us for an interview, and rightfully so. He didn't. He takes it serious. He recognized that they had a poor game, and he was in his head soul searching. What can we do as a team and as an individual to come up with a better performance? And he didn't want to do any media, and he's not obligated to do so. I mean, they're a high school team, but he just wanted to try to figure things out and give him a lot of credit. Real good competitor on the wild pitch. Number 11 Carlson, on the wild pitch, advancing to second base. is Matt Stummy.
Yeah, but Matt Carlson, one of a true competitor he is for Orange Lutheran, and I talked to him after the game. I was on getting some interviews stuff done. I was on Facebook. He messaged me and he said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I just didn't want to talk." And I was like, "No, I totally understand. I know where you're coming from. I played sports myself. I know what it is. After you lose a game, you're really not in the mood to talk." And he said, I gotta find my rhythm. I gotta find my groove back. Off to a slow start, and he felt like, hey, I should be producing a little bit more, and he kind of took that loss himself. Runners on second and third. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs, bottom of the second. The 2-1 for Munoz is inside, and Carlson has himself a 3-1 count.
Yeah, it almost looked like it hit him, but did not, apparently, because he said he didn't, and the umpire said he didn't, but inside pitch. And as you said, he's been using that inside pitch to set him up, but he's not ahead in the count. 3-1 pitch.
That ball misses inside, and Matt Carlson draws a walk here in the bottom of the second. And here comes Connor Sullivan, the number 1 hitter.
Leadoff hitter for the Lancers, 2 outs, bases loaded. And if you want someone up to bat who's going to make contact and can make things happen, probably going to be your leadoff hitter, Sullivan. Connor Sullivan been nothing short of amazing so far this season, looking to extend things, keep things alive here with 2 outs, bases loaded, stepping up to the plate.
And that's the kind of thing that could change your fortunes. A walk as Connor Sullivan cashes in with a single. 1 run comes in to score. They'll send in the second runner. He comes in and scores. Ahead of the tag was Dalton Fries.
Swinging on the first pitch, Sullivan driving one up the middle. 2 runners score. They had 1 easily come across, sent the second man, play at the plate, not in time. Just like that, Olu up 3-0.
Orange Lutheran takes a 3-0 advantage on the 2 RBI single from Connor Sullivan. Matt Carlson goes over to second. That ball was not hit sharp at all, but 2 runs came in to score. Connor Sullivan hit that one in no man's land.
And you knew it was coming, folks. Olu starting to heat up. Sullivan muy caliente, hot, hot, hot. This Olu team looking like they're back in preseason form, where they were dominating opponents, playing small ball, making things happen. Looking good so far is Olu. And really the key to their success so far is not giving up walks. No freebies. They have a great defense, they have a great offense, and as long as they don't put themselves in a bad position with 3 hit runners and 10 walks, 13 men on base, they're pretty much unstoppable.
Well, Garrett King, what he's done here so far in the first 2 innings for his team is he's picked up 2 strikeouts, had a double play to end the inning. He's walked the only guy he walked was a leadoff, the first guy he faced in the game, and then he's been solid ever since. And now he's getting some run support from his offense too. Getting it done here with 2 outs.
Yeah, the Olu faithful down there wearing their rally caps, hoping to keep this thing alive.
First and second with Travis Blue checking in now. Travis Blue had a walk in the first inning, came around to score the first run of the game. Came around to score the first run of the game. Travis Blue has a 2-0 count here, and 2-0 misses down and outside. So the count goes to 3-0 here, and do you green light Travis Blue here with 2 outs?
I don't know. You know me. I'm a risky guy. I'd always have the green light, but Coach Bohr was a smart man. I think he's gonna hold him.
And that's exactly what they do. Travis Blue goes over to first base. Another walk here, and the inning will stay alive. Bases loaded yet again to the hottest guy on the team, Cody Nolf.
Cody Nolf doing it all season long, up to bat with the bases loaded. Sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking, 2 outs, bases loaded. A guy like Cody Nolf, he thrives on this situation. He's got to be salivating up there at the plate. Salivating, I mean.
First pitch, swinging, lifts this one out to center. Drifting back is Franco. And Franco will bring it in, the third out of the inning, but not before the Lancers strike for two more. And after two complete innings of baseball here from UC Riverside, it is the Lancers up 3-0 over Los Altos. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to Lancers Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com. Welcome back to Lancers Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com alongside Aaron True, Romero de la Cruz. Top of the third inning. Lancers up 3-0 over Los Altos, and they're going to look to continue what they've done here through two as they work with a 3-0 advantage over Los Altos. Joey Morales to lead things off.
In their first strike. Quickly ahead in the count. 2 strikes, no balls. Garrett King.
That's what Garrett King has done here today, and that's the kind of confidence a pitcher can build when your offense goes out there and gives you a 3-run cushion in the early goings.
And with a defense like this, why not just put the ball over the plate, let the defense do their job, which they've done so far today, right?
Absolutely right. A double play to end the first inning. And Garrett King, he's only allowed 2 base runners here in the game in the third.
What a nice pitch. Curveball catches him looking frozen in his steps for the called third strike.
Third strike out of the game for Garrett King. A beautiful pitch there from Garrett King.
Making a statement here today with his first start of the season. Art Vidro and Brett Wheatley take notes. Garrett King today showing them how to do it.
And that's how scary this team can be if they can get their third and fourth pitchers or other guys to come in and log some innings, some successful innings, as Art Vidro did back 2 years ago when he was pretty much the third and fourth pitcher when he was a sophomore. It was Bobby Wheatley, brother of Brent Wheatley, who's now pitching with USC. And it was, what was his name, big right-hander, as Garrett King hits the hitter Dominguez. Dominguez will go over to first base.
Staying on board for the Conquerors.
Alfred Morales. Giovanni Morales, it turns back to the top of the lineup. Andrew Thurman is the guy I was thinking. He's currently pitching at UCI. Big right-handed fireball thrower. Had a good season last year for UCI. And Art Vidro was a sophomore, and he would come in and log some innings, pitch some good baseball for Orange Lutheran, come out of the bullpen, whatever they needed him to do. Runner on first base. King fires over to first. Tommy Bell there, but the runner back in time as he dives in head first. Comes a pitch home, and that's in there for a call strike. Garrett King, he likes that outside corner. First batter faced here in the game. King allowed a base on balls Gave up a single in the second and hit Nick Dominguez a few pitches ago, who's over at first base.
Yeah, 1 walk and 1 hit batter, but surprisingly actually well ahead of schedule compared to last game.
Here's
Ball
the
hit
0-2.
sharply up the middle. Fly ball center field, caught by the center fielder. Runner retreats back to first. Sullivan with a nice catch in center field.
Connor Sullivan records his second out as he drifts over to his left. And making his way up to bat is Jason De La Pena.
Number 6, Jason De La Pena.
De La Pena struck out swinging in the first inning. Trying to keep this inning alive here. As De La Pena.
Jeremy De La Pena, the senior, digging in.
Here comes the pitch. That ball's hit sharply. King eats that one up with the glove, and then he softly tosses over to Tommy Bell for the third out of the inning. Through 2.5 here from UC Riverside. It is the Lancers up 3-0, and they're going to come back to bat, try to tack on some more runs.
And actually, correction, that was Jason De La Pena, Jeremy's twin brother. He's number 6, actually, not number 3. A little confusing. But that was De La Pena, Jason, with the last out of the inning.
And due up for Orange Lutheran here in the bottom of the third will be the 4, 5, 6 hitters. Bell, Martin, and Morgan due up here in the bottom of the third. Andrew Formano, the head coach for Los Altos, I was in the dugout earlier before the game and heard him talking to his guys, giving them a little prep talk, saying, come on guys, give us something to build off of the rest of the season here. And hey, if you beat a team the quality of Orange Lutheran, you got to get a boatload of confidence. Beating a quality team like Orange Lutheran. Was looking to get a head out early, but Munoz has given up 3 runs here already, and Orange Lutheran not done just yet.
And let me in on, is this a tradition or what's going on? The players who don't start for Orange Lutheran, do they take a lap between each inning?
They absolutely do. After every half inning.
The senior, Tommy Bell, number 21 for the Lancers, to start off the inning here. 3-0 lead, 3 runs on 4 hits for the Lancers. Tommy Bell.
Bell 0 for 1 in the game will take the first pitch. Nearly got hit in the foot, and he's not scared to take one for the team. Remember in
he has to
Wednesday's
get out of the
game.
way, though. Yeah, he knows now, though, you have to make an attempt to get out of the way. You can't purposely get hit by the ball, as he got hit in the last game, and the umpire said, hey, you kind of leaned into that one. And he gets hit again right here. Let's see what the...
a little half-hearted swing there from Tommy Bell, and then he sold that one. I think
I was about to say that guy could sell an ice cube to an igloo or to an Eskimo, but Tommy Bell not afraid to do what he needs to do to get on pace, shaking his arm out there on first base, playing it up, hamming it up a little bit for the umpire.
Yeah, Bell led.
Oh, and wow, unbelievable. The manager for the opposing team goes out, talks to the umpire, call reversed. 2 games in a row, Tommy Bell has leaned into a pitch and had it called back where he's been called for a strike and returned back to the plate. 2 games in a row, unbelievable.
Bell led all Lancers last season, and times he got hit during the course of the season, and Bell sees a
Did you really?
curveball right down the middle. He sure did. Don't have an exact number, but I know he led Lancers in amount of times he was hit. Here comes the 1-2 for Munoz. That time it hits Bell, and Bell will go to first base.
Bell hit again for the second time during this at-bat.
And
Waiting for the official ruling just to make sure.
And this time he didn't even have to move out of the way, because that one was at Bell's wallet.
Yeah, they're gonna let it stand. So Tommy Bell hit again, goes to first base, and
So the Lancers have the leadoff man on for the third time in this game.
some of the parents for Orange Lutheran having a chuckle in the stands here after that one.
Jason Martin, the left-hander, up for the Lancers.
Shows bunt, takes though for a ball.
Martin had a single in the second inning.
And had a nice catch in the outfield also so far this game.
Martin doing it with the bat and the leather in the game. They throw over to first base, try to catch Bell napping, but he's in there safely. Tommy Bell talked to him during the off season. He said, I can't wait for the season to start. I've been working out, and it shows. From his junior to senior year, put on about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle. But remember, last week, now he's struggling to put it back on because 2 weeks ago he was sick, missed a whole week of school, and lost about 5 to 10 pounds as that one bunted over to the first base side. The pitcher covering, and they will not get Martin in time. Martin legs out an infield single on a hustle play, first and second for the Lancers, nobody out. Perfect placement. And here comes Morgan.
Third baseman for the Lancers, Morgan, coming up to the plate. First and second, no outs for the Lancers. And this is their MO. If they can get guys on base and get ahead of pitchers, they can do some damage. And they're playing the bunt. First baseman rushing in, running all the way up to home plate almost, playing the bunt. If Morgan would have let one fly there, he would have taken that guy's face off.
Don't be surprised if you see a little slash bunt here because Orange Lutheran, they will come.
Yep, Pete Rose style. Show the bunt and then a little check swing, pop it right over the first baseman's head.
That's exactly what. Don't be surprised if that's what you see here is the 0-1. Morgan bunts this one down the third base side. It's going to take a good throw to get him out.
Safe!
And Morgan is safe at first base. Bases loaded for Orange Lutheran. Consecutive infield singles for the Lancers.
What a bunt. Bunting his way on. Now the base is loaded. And the third baseman for the opposing team here, he may have been wise to let that one keep going because I think it would have rolled foul. But he didn't want to take the chance, fielded the ball, but Morgan beats the throw at first. Bases loaded for Mr. Hard Knocks, Art Vidro.
So a good RBI situation here for Art Vidro with the bases loaded, nobody out. Snap throw down to third base. And
Ooh, Tommy Bell. Tommy Bell caught napping on third. Luckily, bad throw.
Retreats in time. And
Borba giving the glare down to Tommy Bell saying, wake up, son.
a ball, no strikes to left-handed Vidro. Munoz kicks and deals. That misses outside. Momentarily gets away from the catcher, but everybody will stay on their base.
And the Los Altos, the pitcher, even though he's given up 3 runs, 5 hits, overall he's looked pretty sharp. I mean, he's not in a good spot here, but overall, all things considered for a high school pitcher, he's played pretty well overall. Not in a bad position, or excuse me, in a bad position here though. Bases loaded, no outs. Art Vidro takes for a called strike.
2-1 the count now to Art Vidro. Bell at third, Martin at second, and Morgan at first.
Vidro would love to make contact here. He struck out looking, I think, on his last at-bat.
Here comes the 2-1. Vidro pops this one high in the infield, and calling everybody off is Ortega, the third baseman. 1 out.
1 out. Bases still loaded for the Lancers. Up to the plate now, catcher, number 12, Matt Stummy. Right-handed hitter, looking to make something happen with 1 out. And notice the infield, the first baseman playing in front of the first base bag. Second baseman playing pretty close to second base. Huge gap. If he can drive one away, he can, he's got a lot of, well, actually the second baseman must have just heard me now moving over.
This is a situation where Orange Lutheran, they need to cash in these situations. Here comes the first pitch to Stummy. He goes first pitch swinging, and he lifts this one well foul. goes
And
into sense.
there's a souvenir for a couple of lovebirds over there. And they don't even move for it. That's a free baseball, folks.
You got to give them back here in high school baseball. High school, you give them back. No balls and a strike here to Stummy. A lot of first pitch swinging here from Orange Lutheran. The curveball nearly gets away from the pitcher, Munoz, and they'll call that a strike. A generous call there by the home plate umpire.
Yeah, a real generous call because he was almost hit by the pitch. Calling a strike though. 0-2. Bases loaded. 1 out for the Lancers.
Comes a pitch from Munoz. Stummy hits this one sharp, but right at the center fielder, Joey Franco, who brings it in. Here comes a relay home. They will not get him in time. A run will score, but Jason Martin gunned down at third base. Do they count the run? I think he did cross home plate before the out. He did get the RBI, but Martin will get gunned down at third to end the inning. So the Lancers will score their 4th run of the game. The third inning now over as the Lancers lead it 4-0. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to Lancers Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com. Welcome back to Lancers Baseball here, top of the 4th inning. Orange Lutheran leading 4-0 as Munoz will lead things off here for Los Altos. Garrett King.
So far, Gary King pitching a shutout with a 4-run cushion.
Back on the mound here. He has 3 strikeouts in the game. Giving Orange Lutheran some solid work here on the mound. That's what Orange Lutheran is going to need here this season. And Coach Borba said, hey, we're going to have to fix our pitching because we're going to be a team that's going to be led by our pitching and defense. So far, the first 2 games this season, it's been offense. Here in 2012, first 2 games have been a little bit shaky when it comes to terms of pitching. They've allowed 20 runs. The first 2 games, very un-Lancer-like. Have used a total of 11 pitchers in the first 2 games. One-two hit sharply. Nolf ranging over to his left. He throws a dart. Bell with a nice stretch at first base. 1 out. 6-3 put out to start the inning. And Garrett King continues to cruise along in this game.
Next up by Hunter is number 2, Steven Camberos.
Steven Camberos now checks in. Flew out to left field. Back in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1 in this game. Looking to get something going, anything going here against Garrett King. Garrett King has looked sharp here in this game so far. As he'll step off the rubber. King looks over to his dugout. No balls and a strike, and King continues to get ahead of hitters in this game. That's been his MO here so far. First pitch strikes.
Steven Camberos, the catcher for Los Altos High School, senior, up at the plate. 4-run lead. Lancers feeling good playing with the lead today instead of playing catch-up.
They do a better job of when they play with the lead. They play Lancer. They play their type of ball.
Yeah, when they're dictating the pace and playing their style of ball, tough to beat, as it's hit sharply up the middle by the catcher, Camberos, for a base hit.
So Camberos picks up the third hit of the game for Los Altos. That ball was hit in no man's land right back up the middle. That ball in on the hands of Camberos, able to have enough strength to hit that one up the middle for a single. Ortega now up for the Conquerors. Orange Lutheran continues to lead it here 4-0. First pitch, a curveball inside, called a strike. Garrett King has used that pitch. It's been his primary pitch in this game, the curveball.
And those of you watching live from home, let us know how we're doing. Leave your feedback. Hit us up on Twitter at RealTalkSN or email us info@realtalksn.com or on Facebook. Find us anywhere all the time. We're all over the place. Bringing you Olu high school baseball all season long. Pitch to Stummy, called for a ball. Looked like a pretty good pitch over the plate, but umpire calls for a ball.
1-1 the count now to Ortega. The runner at first base, Camberos. Here comes a pitch from King. Ball misses downstairs. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Runner goes. Ortega swings. Sullivan drifting over to center. Makes the catch. He's going to throw to first. And the runner will get in time. Not a strong throw there from Sullivan. That one off line. Allowing the runner to get back in time. Otherwise, he was going to be doubled up to end the inning.
Call me old-fashioned, but I'm wondering to myself, why haven't we seen the hidden ball trick so far this season? What happened to the hidden ball trick? Haven't seen that for quite some time. The delivery.
Pitch is hit sharply, but well fouled down the third base side.
At bat for Los Altos, number 10, Joey Franco, the junior outfielder. 2 outs. Runner on first for Los Altos, down 4-0.
Franco had a single in the second inning. Has one of the 3 hits here in the game. Here comes the 0-1. That ball is hit softly out to right field and right at Matt Carlson. He'll bring it in. Third out of the inning. The Lancers get out unscathed. And after 3.5 here from UC Riverside, it is Orange Lutheran ahead 4-0 over the Los Altos Conquerors. And Orange Lutheran, they came into this game at 1-1, looking to rebound after a 11-3 loss. Right now, they're in position, Aaron, to do what they came to do here today.
Yeah, playing very well on both sides of the ball today, doing it with the bat and doing it on defense. We've seen a couple great plays in the outfield. We've seen double plays, just sharp play, no errors. Garrett King getting the ball over the plate, and I'm sure the Lancers coaching staff has got to be thrilled that he's not trying to do anything crazy, nothing fancy, but he's getting the ball over the plate, throwing strikes, and the defense backing him up. Couldn't ask for anything more so far, up a 4 spot.
Yeah, defense has done a good job in this game. They had the 1 double play back in the first inning, but we're seeing good plays out in the outfield from the right fielders, left fielder, center fielder, Jason Martin, Connor Sullivan, and Matt Carlson, all doing a tremendous job out there in the outfield, playing these tricky balls because it is windy out in the outfield.
Yeah, they've been really focused, and actually maybe that's the difference we've seen today than we saw in the last game is they're very focused today. You can tell that their head's in the game, that there's not like there's a sense of urgency, but there's a sense of focus, a sense of, okay, we don't want to get in the habit of losing because we're in the habit of winning. And winning's a habit, it's an attitude, it's a way of life, and they want to stay in that mindset, and they don't want to get in the habit of losing. So very important not to drop 2 straight and to bounce back with a victory here today.
Matt Carlson will lead it off here for Orange Lutheran in the bottom of the 4th.
Number 11, Matt Carlson.
All right, this is a team that is used to winning. Carlson lifts this one up to right field. And Mendez cruises over. So Carlson goes down on 1 pitch as he pops this one up to right field and quickly 1 out.
Do we need to do anything on the shadows, the white balance, or anything on the camera?
The Lancers are at the top of the lineup with number 16.
Connor Sullivan now up for Orange Lutheran.
We want to give a shout out to our cameraman today. Video looking very sharp, bringing you live video and audio broadcasts all season long for the Orange Lutheran Lancers varsity baseball team. RealTalkSN.com. Aaron True joined by, as always, Ramiro De La Cruz. Today missing sideline, aka Sideshow Bob, and intern Ross, but still bringing you the best 3-man team in all of Trinity League baseball action.
Connor Sullivan in ahead of the count. 2 balls and a strike. One out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Make sure you check out the website following the game for the highlights of tonight's game. 2-1 is hit sharply over to the third base side, and that's going to get by Ortega, who cannot field that one cleanly. And Connor Sullivan on base for the 3rd time in this game.
Mr. Reliable Connor Sullivan doing it again with his bat. He's had his last time up to bat, bases loaded with 2 outs, had a two RBI single, I believe, up the middle. Just now a hit down the left field line. This guy's unstoppable.
We're going to have to chalk that one in as an error. I'm going to chalk it in as an error in my playbook.
All right, fine. They put an error on the scoreboard, but still.
Connor, I bet you if Connor
making good contact.
If Connor finds out that I rule it an error, he's going to be mad at me.
Well,
I'm gonna tell him, hey, that was Aaron who's doing the stats for you.
Sullivan family, if you're listening, this is Aaron True, and I'm ruling out a base hit.
That should have been gloved cleanly at third base, though.
It was hit sharply. There's a little bit of a shadow, but yeah, I mean it should have been fielded cleanly. But Sullivan just staying so hot here today, doing it on both ends of the field. I mean, having just an incredible game so far today.
Not a betting man, but I'm willing to bet this rock star here that if that ball was hit to Josh Morgan, he's making that play.
He best be a half-empty, half-drinking can of rock star.
So Sullivan will go over to second base. Travis Blue in the batter's box for the Lancers.
Calling a balk there. The manager for Los Altos comes out, has a word with the umpire, says, hey, ump, what's going on here? Umpire says, I'll have none of it, sends him back to the dugout.
Yeah, just a quick word there to send him back. And we're back underway now as Travis Blue not happy there. A check swing, and the ball hits the end of the barrel of the bat. No balls and 2 strikes.
Usually one of our biggest support systems, group of supporters coming our way from the Blue family. For listening out there, shout out to the Blues.
From Florida. Blue slaps this one over to first base, gloved by De La Pena. He'll step on first for the out.
But runner advances to third base, so Travis Blue, although unable to reach base safely, advances the runner to third. 2 outs. Runner on third. The Nolfster, Cody Nolf, up to bat.
There you see Travis Blue just not trying to do too much with that pitch. That ball was thrown on the outside corner, trying to go with the pitch, and unfortunately hit it on the ground right at the first baseman. First pitch to Nolf. Nolf had to get out of the way of that one.
Sorry, I had a little bit of chuckle. We're looking at Tommy Bell on deck, and I was thinking Bell would have leaned right into that one.
He absolutely would have. Tommy Bell on deck, trying to, if Nolf can extend the inning here, looking to drive in a run. The 0-1, that's hit out to right field. It has a chance to fall, and that one just trickles foul.
Oh, my goodness. The wind caught that one just foul. I thought that was going to drop in fair, and that would have definitely brought in Sullivan from third, and I would have liked to see Cody Nolf, what he would have made of that. Definitely probably would have stretched out a double, maybe even a triple.
Oh, that ball was hitting no man's land. With his speed, that's 3.
That's a 3-bag all day long for the Nolfster. As Cody digs in.
1-1, the count, 2 outs here, bottom of the 4th. Orange Lutheran up 4-0. That time it does hit Cody Nolf in the back.
I mean, that ball was thrown behind the batter. I mean, we're not talking like he took one on the elbow or the shoulder. He took that on the back. I mean, that was thrown behind him. It was a curveball thrown behind him, so it broke into his back. Kind of interesting play there.
Third hitter that has been hit by Joe Munoz in this game.
And I'd like to see the umpire go out and give a warning to the Los Altos team here. 3 hit batters throwing behind batters. Let's keep this game clean, Blue.
Number 21, Tommy Bell.
Travis Blue, Cody Nolf, and Tommy Bell, the guy in the batter's box, have all been hit so far in this game. Tommy Bell's been hit twice, both in the same at-bat. Or 3 times, both on the same at-bat. Ended up getting 1 called. Bell hits this one sharply, but right at the shortstop, Morales.
Nice
who
play.
goes a short way for the 3rd out of the inning, so no runs on a base knock. No 1 error. 1 man left stranded after 4 complete innings of baseball. It is the Lancers 4, the Conquerors nothing. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Lancers Baseball here on Real Talk Sports Network. Welcome back to Lancers Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com alongside Aaron True, Ramiro de la Cruz. Top of the 5th inning. Mendez leading off for Los Altos. King back on the mound for Orange Lutheran. Has pitched a solid 4 innings of work. That ball hit sharply to Nolf, who will come up and fire a dart all the way to first base. First out. Nice play there by Cody Nolf. A 6-3 putout to start the inning. And due up is Joey Morales, the designated hitter who is 0 for 1 in the game. Garrett King, here through 4 1/3, has faced 2 batters over the minimum.
2 batters over the minimum?
That is absolutely correct. 2 over the minimum is Garrett King. A swing and a miss. Had Morales fooled there. 2 batters over the minimum through 4 3/3. That's 13 hitters that he should be having faced as a minimum.
Garrett King and the batter.
And Garrett King picks up a strikeout there, the 5th of the game.
Yeah, Garrett King pitching shutout ball here. Amazing game. Only allowed a few guys on base so far. I mean, so far, I don't want to jinx him because in my head I was already thinking he's going to be my MVP of the game if he keeps this up. And I hope I didn't just jinx him, though.
First pitch to Morales is hit sharply right at Nolf. And Nolf will throw over to first. Tommy Bell with a big stretch at first base. 5 pitches in the inning, and Garrett King gets out of the inning. 1-2-3 inning here for the Lancers after 4.5 innings. The Lancers up 4-0. Garrett King continues to impress.
Yeah, and Lancers have something to be proud about. This time, after that half inning, the bench players came out of the dugout and met the pitcher out, giving him a high five, slaps on the back. I mean, Garrett King, 5 pitches. I'm an efficiency expert. I'm obsessed with time efficiency. 5 pitches, 3 outs, pretty efficient. Saves his arm. You don't let Los Altos. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm excited. I'm pumped up for this. You don't let Los Altos relax. Their pitcher gets no time in the dugout. I mean, you can't ask for a better half inning.
That is just, if you're Coach Borba right now, you're saying, we got it going right now with Garrett King. This kid, if you're not careful, you're going to see some more innings.
Yeah, you can see Coach Borba down there in front of the dugout has a little bit of a half smile on his face. You can see him and Coach Sweeney feeling good today. A little bit of pride restored in this Lancers ball club today.
Nobody liking this more than pitching coach Ed Deese himself. But what an outing Garrett King has had here through his 5 innings of work. He's allowed just 2 hits, has the 4 strikeouts, and just 1 walk.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts. For those of you Orange Lutheran parents in the crowd listening, we want the K meter. We want the K sign. We want to see every time there's a strikeout, I'd love to see a K. Line them up.
We're going to have to start bringing those to the ball games, to the home games when the Trinity League starts, is bring out the K meter.
And Los Altos bringing in a left-hander, number 6, Jason Dela Pena, the senior, replacing number 4, Joe Munoz, on the mound.
So the line for Munoz, he allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, hit 3 batters, and issued 4 walks. Through 4 innings, the day for him is over, and he is currently in line for the loss.
And those 2 numbers that jumped out the most, 4 walks, 3 hit batters, a.k.a. 7 free men on base. And this is the story of Olu last game. They gave up 13 free base runners, and they were unable to win. Today, they've got 7 guys for free on base of their own, up 4-0. Capitalizing on those mistakes from Los Altos.
Jason Martin will lead it off here for the Lancers.
Lefty versus lefty to start off the inning.
Martin had an infield single in the 3rd, a bunt down the third base side. Don't mean to sound like a broken record, but this Lancers speed will pressure the opposing team with speed. What is the old cliche? Speed kills. As Martin takes a first pitch ball, and the 1-0 is in there for a called strike. It looked like the same location from the previous pitch. This time it's called a strike. 1-1 to Jason Martin. Comes a 1-1. That ball's drifting foul towards the left field side, and the third baseman falls. Stumbled a little bit there, tripped up. So Jason Dela Pena on the mound. Has that foot on the far left side of the bag. Comes inside with the off-speed pitch that nearly hits Jason Martin. How to get out of the way of that pitch. As the Lancers continue to lead in this game, 4-0. A big swing and a miss from Jason Martin. He goes down swinging.
Jason De La Pena with a strikeout for the Conquerors.
So De La Pena picks up a strikeout against the first batter he faces.
Here comes the third baseman for the Lancers, Morgan.
Number 3, Josh Morgan.
Josh Morgan looking to make things happen with the bat. Hasn't had the greatest day so far behind the bat, but looking to make things happen.
Josh Morgan.
1 for 1 here today.
Morgan had a sack bunt in the second and a bunt single in the third as he pops this one high on the infield grass and drifting over to make the catch is the first baseman. Ortega, who is now over at first base.
And it looks like we might have a new batter entering the game for the Lancers. Number 20, Brett Wheatley.
Now that the wind has continued to die down here, and we talked about guys that have power, have that home run power. If he gets a hit, if he hits this one in the sweet spot, he can get out of here.
6'4", senior Brent Wheatley. If someone's going to hit one 400 feet to dead center over the 20-foot wall into the wind, it's going to be Wheatley.
And he does possess the power to do so. Here comes the 0-1. That's bounced in the dirt.
Is he skipping rocks? A two-hopper to the plate, called for a ball. Reminds me of spending time with my grandpa skipping rocks at the lake growing up. Throws a two-hopper to the plate, called for a ball.
De La Pena cannot hit his spot there, and it's 1-1 now to Wheatley. 1-1 misses outside, pops a glove.
Well, it was in the strike zone over the plate, just it was a two-bouncer. So
2-1 now is the count. Wheatley awaits the pitch, gets a hold of it, pops it high on the infield, and Ortega, the first baseman, will watch this one bounce in front of him. Wheatley in there on an E3, and Ortega lost that one. No sun in the infield anymore.
Infield hit for Brent Wheatley.
And that was a strange, eerie play there.
And once again, our man
that ball
Herman on the camera work today. Camera looking as good as ever today. Hope you at home are enjoying this live broadcast of Orange Lutheran varsity baseball.
Now Coach Eric Borbo will come out and have a word with the home plate umpire as the will be a new hitter now for Orange Lutheran, Drew Anderi, to hit for Art Vidro.
Yeah, Vidro's struggling so far, and now they have a left-handed pitcher in the game. Vidro, a left-handed hitter. They're going to go for the more favorable matchup, the righty versus lefty.
First pitch in there, called a strike against Anderi. Drew Anderi wearing that number 13 jersey that belonged to Robbie Mansfield last year, now playing the University of Pacific up there in
the Tigers. The Stockton Pacific Tigers, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely right. Beautiful stadium they got over there. We went up there last year, Orange Lutheran, for a doubleheader against St. Mary's. They're going to come up here in about a week or so. Next weekend, they'll be up here for a doubleheader at Hart Park.
Yeah, a bit of a hidden gem up there, Stockton. Pacifica. A pretty beautiful campus, actually.
Cody Nolf actually hit his only home run of the season last year on that field. Over a 25-foot wall. Short way, though, about 350 feet, but over a 25-foot wall.
They call it the Stockton Monster. They also call my ex-girlfriend from Pacifica College the same thing, but we're talking about the baseball diamond.
And Derry up in the count, 2-1.
Inside, called for a ball.
And Derry backs his way out of the way there. That's another one, that Tommy Bell. He's staying right there, going to take the hit and going to get a free base path. 3-1 now. And the pitch misses high and outside. And Derry will get on base via the walk. Runners on first and second for Matt Carlson.
Senior Matt Carlson trying to keep things going, trying to stay hot. How is his stats looking so far today?
Matt Carlson 0 for 1 on the day. Has reached base in the second on a walk. He's been looking to find a way to turn things around here in 2012. Had a really good 2011 season. Not the start he envisioned here in 2012. Still a lot of time, though.
Yeah, baseball, a game of momentum, a game of streaks. All it takes is one hit to get hot, and you're right back on track.
Here comes the 0-1. That's inside, and a good eye there by Matt Carlson. Gets ahead of the count. No balls. No balls or 1 ball and 1 strike. Excuse me.
1 ball, 1 strike.
As De La Pena, the pitcher, is having trouble finding the strike zone here in his first inning of work.
Ooh!
1-1 hits Carlson in the back, and that was a fastball that drilled Carlson. He's okay. He's going to run over to first baseman. The Lancers will have him loaded for Connor Sullivan.
Yeah, 2 outs, bases loaded for Connor Sullivan. Los Altos pitcher sending a message to the Lancers, drills Carlson in the back. And not a smart move by the pitcher when Carlson's been struggling so far this season, unable to do much with the bat, giving him a free base.
Yeah, and that's nothing intentional there. It's just a fastball that gets away from the pitcher, De La Pena, for the Los Altos Conquerors. That is the 4th hit batsman in the game.
Bases juiced for the Lancers.
And Sullivan will turn it around over to the right-handed side with the left-handed pitcher as he fouls the first pitch off to the fence. Sullivan.
3 for 3 today, right?
Sullivan had an at-bat earlier in the game with the bases loaded, drove in 2 in the 3rd inning.
And now he's up to bat from the right, batting as a right-hander. I think he was batting as a lefty earlier, right? So the switch hitter, Sullivan, now facing the left-handed pitcher.
1 ball and a strike here to Connor Sullivan, who's hitting from the right side. De La Pena gets a very generous call there as they call it a strike in on the hands of Sullivan. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, Orange Lutheran up 4-0. De La Pena looking to get out of this inning. The 1-2 misses downstairs, 2-2 the count. Sullivan able to even up the count now. And Sullivan, he will be protecting, but not going to go after De La Pena's pitch. This is a kid who's talked to me so many times, says, I'm going to wait for my pitch as the 2-2 misses outside. That's why he's so successful in the batter's box.
Bases loaded, full count, 2 outs. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
And Orange Lutheran can really break the game wide open with a base hit here from Connor Sullivan. Here comes the payoff. And that's behind Sullivan, gets away from the catcher. Brent Wheatley will coast his way in home and score the 5th run of the game, and the Lancers up 5-0.
That's an RBI with that walk.
So a walk issued by De La Pena fails to get out of the inning, and Travis Blue checks in with the bases loaded.
The coach going to head out to the mound of Los Altos and talk to his pitcher.
Nobody warming up, so he's just going to talk to him, say, hey, 1 good pitch, get us out of this inning. We're still in the ball game. The score only 5-0. You can still keep it close here, but a base knock here by Travis Blue could really unwind things here for the Conquerors.
Yeah, he comes out to the mound and says, hey, son, we've got no one warming up. We've got no one here to come in and relief. No pressure, but you got to make something happen. But in all seriousness, though, the left-hander's struggling with his control. His first inning pitching today, and he's had a hit batter. He's had a couple balls in the dirt, throwing behind people. Really struggling with his control. And what you see sometimes at the high school level, they're kids. You know, they're not professional athletes. They're learning, they're developing. And sometimes they try to force things. They try to overthrow. And when they overthrow, they struggle with control. And I think that's what we're seeing here today.
So De La Pena back on the mound. Blue looking to cash in big here. The first pitch is on the outside, called a strike.
Bases juiced once again for the Lancers.
They've had them loaded 3 times in the game. 4 times this game.
Travis Blue up to bat, the second baseman for the Lancers.
The 0-1, that misses outside.
And he's been making things happen all season long on the defensive side of the field, looking to make things happen with his bat. He had a great bunt earlier, sacrifice bunt.
A ball and a strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Olu up 5-0 as Travis Blue pops this one up in the infield. The shortstop Morales is there to bring it in for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Lancers, after all said and done, push 1 more run across to make it 5-0. And we are through 5 complete innings here from UC Riverside. Do not go anywhere. You're listening to Lancers Baseball here on Real Talk Sports Network. Welcome back to Lancers Baseball here from UC Riverside. Top of the 6th inning, Orange Lutheran up 5-0.
Up a nickel spot is Olu. Garrett King on the mound once again for Orange Lutheran Lancers, having a stellar performance.
I think stellar would be an understatement.
Having an incredible performance.
There you go, that's more like it. 5 innings here for King has allowed just the 2 hits. That ball is hit sharply out to shallow center. Sullivan coming in and making a diving catch. And a nice catch there out of the center fielder, Connor Sullivan. He covered a lot of space laying out head first. A Superman dive to make that grab. And as the announcer here said it, it is Sully time. That ball hit sharply. Nolf ranging over to his right, gloves it, throws to first base. 1 up, 2 up, 2 down.
Iron sharpens iron. These guys all playing sharp tonight, not trying to let down in any aspect, not trying to outdo each other, but trying to keep the intensity and keep up the pace with their teammates.
5 pitches in the fifth inning, 3 outs. 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 6th for Garrett King.
7 pitches, 5 outs.
MVP type of performance so far, I would say, or a game MVP type of performance so far for Garrett King as he continues to cruise along in this game.
Not trying to jinx it, but so far, it looks like our Tiki-Yaki player of the game.
As the 0-1 is in there for a called strike 2. King looking to make it a 1-2-3 inning here. Here comes the 0-2. That's down in the dirt, has a couple of pitches to play with.
Yeah, King shaking it off, saying, "Yeah, I wasted a pitch, but still less than 10 pitches in 2 innings."
Just trying to get him to go after one there. As now King will step off the rubber. A very efficient game for Garrett King here so far. If he's not careful, he's going to go all the way. That ball, a little dribbler to Nolf. He grabs it in the grass and he throws across the diamond. 3 up, 3 down, a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett King. He continues his magic on the mound. And after 5.5, the Lancers lead it 5-0.
All I can say about Gary King is he is muy caliente, hot, 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 here today on the mound, doing it for the Lancers, playing sharp.
And Gary King has done a tremendous job here in this game of keeping the ball down in the strike zone. 8 ground ball outs to this point for Gary King. And Cody Knopf, he's been very active at the shortstop position today.
Yeah, he's doing a great job keeping the ball low in the strike zone, forcing this Los Altos team to hit ground balls.
Bottom of the 6th inning coming up here. Orange Lutheran continues to lead, and leading things off, it'll be Cody Knopf for Orange Lutheran. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up.
Sorry for the long distance trip.
Knopf, Bell, and Martin, if no changes are made.
Bottom of the 6th here. This game going pretty quick. We had the last few games had about 18 runs, 20 runs, and then 13 runs the other day. It had a couple long games. This one going pretty quickly.
Yeah, the game on Wednesday, 3 hours, about 3 hours, 10 minutes. This game here, we're at the bottom of the 6th, an hour and a half have gone by. Here comes the first pitch to Knopf. That one is fouled back. No balls and a strike here to Knopf. De La Pena back on the mound.
Cody Knopf looking to keep himself hot.
Cody Knopf fouls that one back, and the count 1-2 to the senior shortstop.
Once again, you're joining us here. Dick's Sporting Good Tournament Baseball. 3rd game for the Lancers. So far 1-1 in tournament play. Looking to keep momentum here today and move that to 2-1.
They're looking to rebound after that loss on Wednesday. And I'm sure the guys had a lot to talk about on the way home, on the ride home.
That was a long bus ride home.
Yeah.
I am sure.
Because there was traffic right after the game. I know we hit some traffic.
Hit sharply down the right field line by Cody Knopf.
That one gets
drops fair all the way to the wall. Rounding
Knopf.
second is Knopf, headed to third.
Knopf is in there with a sliding triple. And that one there, that ball was not hit sharply, but they were playing him shallow out in right field. And that one got over the head of Mendez, the right fielder. And Cody Knopf on his motor the entire time, kicked it into 5th gear, and was able to get all the way to third base. A leadoff triple for Cody Knopf continues his hot hitting here in this game.
Was that Cody Knopf or Usain Bolt? Because he covered more ground than you can imagine, looking like he's got Olympic speed out there.
Yeah, Cody Knopf as soon as he got out of the box, he was on his high horse.
Yeah, and that was similar to a play that just went foul last time up to bat. And this field is just so big that if it drops in anywhere in the outfield, you've got a chance to stretch it out.
Tommy Bell now batting. He's down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. And for Cody Knopf, he just missed a home run there down the right field line. Opposite field hitting for Knopf on that last hit. Infield in. The 0-2 bounces in the dirt. Tommy Bell will...
Tommy Bell tried to take it off the elbow there, but unable to get hit by the pitch as it's in the dirt.
Bell looks over to third base and he says, leaves a stop sign for Knopf.
No men out, runner on third for the Lancers. Tommy Bell digging in, 2 strikes.
Here comes the 1-2. Bell lifts this one high, and the first baseman going down and hit in no man's land. That's going to fall for a base knock.
First baseman calling off the outfielder, running backwards, blind, unable to make the catch. RBI blooper from Bell, and is that going to count as a single or as an error on the official scorecard? Romero.
It's going to fall as a base knock. That's a base hit right there. No man's land.
That's a base hit RBI then for senior Tommy Bell.
Tommy Bell checks in, and for Tommy Bell, those are the kind of little base hits that can get your confidence going.
Yeah, and stretching out that first hit by Nolf into a triple, now look at the result. You get on third, a little blooper drives him home, capitalizing, playing small ball, playing smart, playing sharp is Olu, up 6-0.
Now Jason Martin checks in for the Lancers. Martin having a decent game here. Has reached base twice. Struck out his last at-bat, but reached the previous two at-bats. Martin has a count at 1-1. De La Pena has struggled with his command here since entering in the fifth inning, but has only given up one run. Hits a strike on the outside. 1-2 the count now to Jason Martin, the left-handed junior. Bell not the fastest of runners at first base, but it has above average speed. 1-2, that's hit right at De La Pena, who throws the second for one, the throw in a first. A 1-6-3 double play.
And the Los Altos team looks like they're headed into the dugout, but that's only 2 outs. A little premature there. They're heading back out onto the field. You still got one left.
Yeah, and I was looking, I was wondering why everybody was walking off the field for Los Altos, but they're called back as the catcher Camberos was looking back saying, hey guys, we only got 2 outs here. So Josh Morgan makes his way into the batter's box for the Lancers.
Wow, called for a strike, looked outside. Umpire strike zone wider than Fat Joe's waistline here today.
Here comes the 0-1 from De La Pena. That one misses outside. The left-handed De La Pena has Morgan 1-1, wants to get out of the inning here. 2 outs. Morgan hits this one high and foul down the right field side.
This is just such a big ballpark. I mean, so much room, so much foul territory, so much play, or excuse me, so much field in fair play. It's a huge ballpark. Orange Lutheran getting a lot of experience playing in these, in these huge ballparks. It's got to really help prepare them for the next level.
A ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. Orange Lutheran up 6-0. As Morgan will watch that one go by. His foot 2-2 the count. And if you're Coach Eric Borba, you have your pitcher tossing a solid game. Garrett King, the sophomore. 6 innings he's pitched. No earned runs, just 2 hits allowed. Do you let him come back for the 7th?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Morgan hits this one out to left center. No one's going to catch that one. That's going to hit the gap, and Morgan rounding first. Here comes Morgan, and he'll apply the brakes over at second base. A 2-out double for the sophomore, Josh Morgan.
Rips it into the gap. Great hit from Morgan. And as you mentioned, do you leave in the starting pitcher to finish this game? Absolutely you do. He's pitching a shutout. You've struggled with pitching all season long. Used several pitchers in every game. This is a chance to give those guys a little rest and to put the game on the shoulders of your starting pitcher, Garrett King. Let him finish what he started. Having an incredible game. Everyone playing well. I'm not a superstitious guy, but I wouldn't make any changes.
You know what? I think I would completely agree with you there. 11 total pitchers used in the first 2 games. 20 runs given up. And who would have thought from their 1 and 2 pitchers?
Exactly. And my only superstition is that I'm not very superstitious. So I would not make any changes.
As Brent Wheatley digging in. No balls and a strike to Wheatley. And if the wind wasn't blowing as hard as it was, that ball that was hit by Morgan may have had a chance. Maybe. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Morgan over at second. Here comes the 0-1. That ball hit well. And it hits foul over the bag. No balls, 2 strikes. Wheatley down in the count. Haven't seen Wheatley used much in the offensive here this season yet.
Yeah, he's still waiting to break through. Struggled a little bit pitching and a little bit behind the plate as a batter. Looking to break through, looking to make things happen, looking to get things started here this season.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, De La Pena will step off the bag. Matt Stummy awaits on deck if they can continue the inning.
He's got his shin guards on, the catcher, Matt Stummy. So he's ready either way.
Here comes the 0-2 to Wheatley. A big swing and a miss. Wheatley goes after one out of the zone. And that is the end of 6 here from UC Riverside. It is the Lancers up 6-0 over the Los Altos Conquerors. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with the 7th and final inning here from UC Riverside. You're listening to Lancers Baseball here on Real Talk Sports Network. Welcome back to Lancers Baseball here from UC Riverside. The Lancers up 6-0 to start the top of the 7th. The final inning, if Garrett King can get out of it. King in line to pick up the win here, looking to go a complete game. Needs 3 outs to do that.
Yeah, down to their last 3 outs, Los Altos.
As that ball is hit sharply down the third base side, but well foul. King in the last 3 innings has used 12 pitches to record 9 outs.
I mean, this is
Talk about working quickly.
Yeah, unbelievable performance.
That ball hit high on the second pitch of the inning. Nolf will call everyone off, and Nolf brings in the can of corn. 1 out.
Yeah, just speeding through this game, and I'm gonna have to go down there and have a talk with him. I get paid by the hour here. Let's start. Let's get a couple delays going here.
Garrett King continues to work quick here on the mound. Ortega now in the box for the Lancers.
Ooh, and that's
the Conquerors.
Called ball, and that's right over the plate, right down the middle.
Ortega was robbed of a base knock in the 4th by Connor Sullivan.
And he almost hits the batter with the inside pitch, and it's a called strike. I mean, I just don't get this umpire strike zone, but working to Orange Lutheran's advantage so far today, so not going to question it.
Defense and pitching has been the key here for Orange Lutheran. That ball hit sharply, but right at Martin. Martin will take a step in and bring it in. 2 outs, 4 pitches in the inning, 2 outs.
And when you throw strikes, you force the other team to either A, strike out, or B, swing and put the ball in play. And he's doing that exactly that today. The last game, Orange Lutheran giving up so many walks, hitting batters, not giving themselves a chance to stay in the game or to win. And here today playing the exact opposite. Unbelievable shutout ball. I mean, who is this out there? Garrett King looking like the king of baseball, looking like Elvis on the mound. I mean, it's just, who do you compare this guy to having the game of his life?
Yeah, Garrett King pitching a tremendous game here in his first start here in 2012. As the pitch is hit sharp out to short, Nolf throws a strike to first base, And that is the end of the inning. That is the end of the game. Orange Lutheran picks up a 6-0 victory. Garrett King gets a complete game victory. 2 hits. A complete game shutout here for Garrett King. The Lancers go to 2-1. And the Los Altos Conquerors fall to 0-2. Aaron, the keys today for Orange Lutheran, defense and pitching worked for them here in this game.
They played the Olu ball we were used to seeing. They played small ball. They did very well on running the bases, getting guys across the score, and then the defense played incredible. Pitching effort from Garrett King, nothing short of unbelievable. Pitches a shutout. When you 2 days ago give up 10 walks, 3 hit batters, and 11 runs to bounce back 2 days later, Orange Lutheran, a very prideful, proud team, walking high, walking tall today after an incredible performance, back to their winning ways in this early season.
Yeah, so Orange Lutheran, they're able to bounce back. They allowed no runs after giving up 20 in the first 2. Pick up the victory here, 6-0. Complete game victory for our Real Talk Sports Network player of the game today, Garrett King. 7 strong innings, 2 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts for Garrett King, the sophomore, and we can expect to see more of him throughout the remainder of the season. Coach Borb was not going to be shy to hand him the baseball. And that is going to do it for us here from UC Riverside as the Lancers are victorious as they win it 6-0 over the Los Altos Conquerors. The Lancers improved to 2-1 here in 2012. Reminder to check out the website following the game, post-game article, post-game interviews, and post-game highlights of today's ball game. For Aaron True, Romero de la Cruz, Herman Leal, you've been listening to Lancers Baseball here on RealTalkSN.com.